when the average person isn't spending as much time in the masjid as he should, when the average person is not engaging with scholarship and with Islamic reading as much as he should, when the average person, rarely picks up the mushaf, as in the copy of the Quran, rarely picks out, when the average person hardly understands any of the words that Allah has spoken, when the average person hardly understands any of the sayings of the Prophet ﷺ, how is he not going to be? And when the average person, unfortunately, is not practicing his acts of worship, which act as a defensive barrier, which acts as a shield, which acts as a protection against this erosion, how is he going to defend himself if a group are quite confident and they have the assets to do that? They have the financial assets, they control the media, they control the what we're viewing daily, because they own them. If you look at who owns most of the largest corporations, they're not necessarily good people. So they're hell-bent, when I say good people, as in towards faith, they tend to take a very anti-faith approach. They're atheists, hard atheists, and they want to undermine religion because they see religion as something that's holding people back. Now, yes, there might be some types of religions, unfortunately, that are being led by charlatans and being led by, actors, that are people who are trying to take benefit from people, trying to fleece people, trying to get money out of people. Of course, unfortunately, people like that exist. Snake charmers and things of that nature. They exist. That's a reality. They even exist within Islam, unfortunately, because that's just the way it is. But the reality is that when a person truly seeks out good faith, then they'll find it. Allah SWT further says, وَمَا يُضِلُّونَ, but they do not deviate, إِلَّا أَنفُسَهُمْ, except themselves. They just don't harm it. They just don't realize it. وَمَا يَضُرُّونَكَ مِنْ شَيْءٍ, they cannot harm you in any shape or form. So if we can extend that from the Prophet ﷺ, because this was directly addressed to the Prophet ﷺ, if we can extend that, then also those people who are of sound iman, those people who associate themselves with the masajids, those people who associate themselves with ulama, those people who associate themselves with learning, and also bringing those things into practice in their day-to-day lives, the way they run their houses, how they are towards one another, how they do business, and all the rest of it, then they can be protected. And those people who plot and plan against them, those plots and plans will backfire onto the very people who try to do it, as we see as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells the Prophet alayhi salatu وَأَنزَلَ اللَّهُ عَلَيْكَ الْكِتَابَ وَالْحِكْمَةَ وَعَلَّمَكَ مَا لَمْ تَكُنْ تَعْلَمُ, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has revealed upon you the book and the wisdom. وَعَلَّمَكَ, and He has taught you مَا لَمْ تَكُنْ تَعْلَمُ, what you did not know. So you have these skills, and these skills are the ones, and this knowledge is the one which will act as a protection against these people. So those of us who have knowledge of the book, those of us who have wisdom, those of us who have been taught something which they did not know before, because that's how you learn, every alim was a jahil, then they are protected. Again, if we extrapolate this conversation that Allah SWT is having, addressing it to the Prophet ﷺ, and we extrapolate that therefore anybody else who also receives the book, obviously we don't receive it directly, revelation does not come down upon us, revelation came down upon the Prophet ﷺ, but we have received revelation in its final form. And if we acquire hikmah, and we learn that which we did not know, then this will also be a means of protection for us as well.